So otherwise, how would we deal with this problem that I'm telling you that I have been having? I'm working on it now. So to be focused on your prayer is really important, because Allah put this verse after, so that's what scared me the most, after those who deny the day of judgment. I don't deny the day of judgment. I believe, we will be judged. We will be returned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will be judged for our actions. And we don't know where we came from before we came to this earth, and we don't know where we're going back after we departure from this earth. Who did you descend from? 1,000 years ago, where were you? Were the people who you came from were living? Yes, they were living, otherwise you would not exist. So you don't even know what those people go through, and you come through them. So for that reason, your best burhan, your best proof, your best option is to follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who told us, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." From Allah we come, to Allah we go back. So that's it, simple like that. 2 points. We come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, it's a circle. Yeah, starting with at one of the quadrants. So you go, you come back. You go, you stay here, you don't know anything. Again, oops, the truth, oh Allah, please send me back one more time, I will do right this time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always will tell us, no, you had your chance, and so you blew it, and here is your new home. Wal-iyadh billah. So we have to be careful about our prayer, try to make it strong. And then the other one is, the other point is, وَلَا يَحُلُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ, in this same chapter. وَلَا يَحُلُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. So, but Allah also said in many verses of the Quran, our brother Asad always mentions, وَيُنْفِقُونَ مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ. So you give of some of whatever Allah blessed you with. You share with others. That's sadaqah. A charity, helping others. Like you have some small food, and your neighbor is starving, split into two. Maybe if you know that they are really, really starving, and it's a matter of like, there are some poor people still have some. They need extra. But there are poor people, like they don't even have the next meal. So if Allah wal-iyadh billah, if that happens, we should like share a portion of it with them. So we both are starving, but at least, until Allah gives us something more, so we can hold to stay alive, and take some, give some. But these people are not like that. Allah is not talking about those people who give some, No, these people, like, they don't put responsibility on them. It's not in their plan, or they don't make a plan to help anyone. So they are there for themselves. If they see someone starving, they see. So this verse is different from, because that's how Allah showed me. I always knew this surah. I never saw it this way. I saw it like, oh, okay, feed the poor. The same as وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And then وَلَا يَحُلُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. Same, I saw the same. No, but the yahullu is hil. Hil in the Arabic word means responsibility. They don't make, Allah is telling us, make you part of your responsibility. You are someone who is upfront, wanting to help. So that, Allah will increase your bounty too, because your goal becomes bigger. Now you focus only yourself, your family, next door, stuff like that, small. But when you think that growing and everybody, it's like the whole world, like the Muslim nation, then your goal is bigger. And then you can, focus large, and Allah will open doors for you, inshallah. So, and then the 2 points was to make our salahs starting from this point on, if you were good, alhamdulillah, kudos to you. May Allah increase you. And those of us, starting with myself, from today on this prayer, let's focus on more and more and more that we dedicated this time to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah alone gets our attention. Of course, things will come to the mind, to the heart, thoughts. Block it right away, inshallah. Allah make it easy for us in the future. Then we will be in that position that Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu claimed, Ya Rasulullah, I pray clean salat, nothing else, mashallah. So, and then one other point that I want to add is the dua. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ الدَّعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ. Allah's promise is not fake, it's for real. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, tell my servants, if they ask me, I will give them. If they make a dua, I will accept their dua. I will respond. So, what you call, and for that reason, you know, a lot of people, including part of my family, they always question, if Allah accepts this, how come I don't see? Well, that's very difficult. A lot of ulama try to justify. I will not justify for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah's word is there, you know, and His promise is real. I believe that. But everybody, you know, they have their own opinion on their own right to follow it. But no matter what, we cannot justify for Him. So like some ulama says, oh, you know, you will get it there, you will get it that, you will get it that. But I always preach that you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah give me $100. You go out of this door, someone will hand you $100, or you will pick up $100 from somewhere, you know, from the floor. Something like that. So that's what I always preached. And I truly believe it. But those people like who don't see the response, they say that, oh, you know, maybe it's not real. So that's what I want to explain now. In my life experience, one time I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my family was growing. My boss cut my paycheck like 25%. Because of, this was during the recession, one of the recessions, 25%. Everybody else was cut 10%. So later on, when things get better, and the money was going to be restored, and what you call, but at that time, before that, I was telling my wife, you know, our family is growing. Maybe I should look for a job and make a dua for me, and inshallah, you know, a $35 an hour will be a good job, you know. So that to me, that was a big money at that time. Young man, young family, you know. So I went ahead and asked, make the dua. My wife made the dua. You know, come to time, so my boss cut me my paycheck and all that, 25%. I know this, and what you call, everybody else was cut 10%. So because he said that you are the top rank, the top paid guy, so you know, that's how he just went. When he was giving back, he gave me back 10%. I said, boss, you owe me 15%. He said, no. How can I do that? I cut everybody 10%. 10% is here. Take it or leave it. I said, no. Let's look at the checks. He refused even to look my last paycheck before he applied the cut. He says, no, I know this. What are you talking about? You trying to rob me? And I said, man, this man is the meanest dude I ever seen. Little did I know, he was honest and sincere about that. He was sure that he cut me only 10%. But I didn't believe him. I said, he's mean, he's Jewish, you know, all that. I accused him all kinds of bad things. And so finally, the secretary brings my file, and he sees there, at that time, when he cut me, I was making $27 an hour. He cut me 25% of that, so I went down. So he restored 10%, so I went close to 27. So, and he refused to compare that check to my last paycheck. He could see it clearly. He said, no, absolutely. The secretary brings his file, says, I'm gonna restore this, and then he saw there was a paper, yellow paper, I don't know who wrote it, and a secretary that left the company, her handwriting was there, and somewhere it says $30. And the boss looks, says, okay, from now on you get your $30 back, your 10% is restored. Now he paid me more than $3 more than that one. Not only he cut me, but he gave me more. See what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand this point. Now he's paying me $30 an hour. And the secretary, the current secretary is telling, no, let's look his paycheck. That's not what he was getting before you cut the 10%. He says, no, I'm not gonna look anything. It says $30 there. That's what he was getting, that's what he gets. So, and I said, this guy is a mean Jewish guy and this, that, but Allah is working miracles. Now I'm getting $30 an hour. So then, but anyway, I left him. I don't like him because that betrayal that he cut me 25% made me like really mad, and I quit. And I got the $35. A friend of mine called me and says, Abdul, I want to hire you. I know I cannot afford you, but I can afford you $35 an hour. I said, okay. Says, hey, okay, come. He says, I hear that you quit from Browning. I said, yeah. So I can afford only $35 an hour. I know you're a big engineer and all that, but that's all I can afford. I said, okay. All that went. But my point that I was making, look, the sin that I committed against this guy, I accuse him, he's Jewish, he's mean, he's that. That is not right. You cannot do that to a human being. But Allah worked His way. That's why you don't see some of your dua. Because in order to get what you want, it has to go through this. All loopholes, Allah has to work through all that math in order for me to get the $35 an hour. I had to have a fight with my boss. My heart was blocked from him, and I insulted, that's on me. Whatever he's done to me is on him. But I insulted him unfairly. And he was sincere. What's the proof? He saw only $30 there. He refused to look the paycheck. And so he was honest. What he was saying, that's what he believed. Of course, we make mistake, and Allah forgives mistakes. But when you do intentional, so I accuse him that he was doing intentional to me because I'm Muslim, he's Jewish, and all that, I'm black, and this bullshit. All astaghfirullah. That was not there. What was there was that in order for me to get to the 35, I had to go through this route to get to that. So he has to hurt me enough to quit, but I insulted him. That's on me. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. I should have stayed focused. And so Allah responds to the dua. But so if you don't get some of the dua, I think I'm not justifying for Allah because of what could happen. What about if I ended up hurting him physically? I get so mad, I put all the rage on me. He says, because I'm black, I'm Muslim, he's Jewish, he's white, he's discriminating me, and I just jump on his old man, I hit him one time, he falls. Now my family don't even have a figure father or anything, will end up in jail. So those kind of things can happen because the ulama, when they say that maybe something that was coming was stopped from you, it's possible. It's possible. I never accepted this before, but now I see it in practice. And then the other thing is every now and then I miss my wife, I get hurt real bad. When I really get hurt, and I say, Allah, I have to see her, please. She comes in my dream, and I feel good for a long time. Alhamdulillah. أقول هذا قولي سأستغفر لي ولكم يا فوز المستغفرين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم.